our parents, they see it as being gang related. Because, oh yeah, gangsters are the only people that have it, or people that come out of prison, they're the only ones that have tattoos, and that's kind of a taboo thing. But I think a lot of the parents nowadays, the more Americanized or modern parents nowadays, they're realizing like the earrings and the like the different hairstyles, the different way people wear their clothing. They're realizing it's just a sense of fashion. That's who they are.
We've moved from a time when tattoos were solely affiliated or associated with gangs into a time now where tattoos are really symbolizing a sense of pride and self-expression and individuality. And I think there are a couple of different reasons why that's true. One, just being that as more young people are growing old enough to get tattoos, I think that there's a real sense of pride and a desire to feel pride in our cultural identity. And again, that's just creating the sense of like wanting to hold on to what is really Hmong.
Now it's more considered, this is a part of my identity. I want to express myself. So it just seems another way, like, how you choose your clothing, or something, other part of your life where you express who you are.
I was actually in Thailand in 2008 and 2009. I had the thought and the idea of getting that Hmong cultural influence tattoo. So I saw that my aunt was sewing her own bandao, and she lived in a village in northern Thailand near Chiang Rai. So I took a picture of her bandao, and then I had an artist in that village called Hui Ku. I had him redraw the bandao into more of a tattoo image.
My tattoo design is the elephant's foot, the famous elephant's foot. I got it 15 years ago, right after high school. Honestly, I wasn't brave enough to get it. As a female woman, Hmong woman, it would be scary to let my parents see that I had a tattoo. So my younger sister actually got a tattoo first. And so I kind of followed in her footsteps. She's kind of like, even though she's younger than me, sometimes I feel like she's the older sister.
My Hmong tattoo is a calf sleeve on my left calf. It is a bandao. When I first thought of it, I thought of getting like I knew I wanted some type of sleeve, but I already had all this real estate on my arm already used up. So I originally wanted the sleeve of like irizumi, of like the Japanese kind of tattoo artwork. But then I thought, hey, I could reach into my own culture and find something worthwhile tattooing. And so I just looked at these tapestries that people do, and I thought I could probably incorporate a tattoo of something like this. But the real challenge was getting it done by a Hmong artist.
My first Hmong tattoo design is a bandao heart that is on my sleeve, my palm. It has always been something that I wanted to get, and I guess I sat on that idea for quite a while, because it's a tattoo and you don't want to just get it in the spur of the moment, so I think I sat on that idea for a while. I kind of debated back and forth where I wanted to get it, but I think just like last year I decided, I think I'm ready for this. All my siblings, they all have tattoos, and I'm kind of like the only one who doesn't have one, so I think I want to get one just to not fit in, but to say, hey, I can do this too. You kind of see the trend of what people are getting, and usually it's always like, something very common, like words, animals and stuff like that, which, everybody has their own taste. But for me, I wanted to get something that relates to who I am, and like everybody, you have a story to tell. And I want people to be able to see what I have and ask me about it, so that I could give them the backstory to it, So that was kind of like my journey to getting my tattoo.
I did not design the design. I actually got it from one of those booklet, like a brochure for the Concordia. The reason why I decided to get it is more like, I've had tattoos before, and the thing is, I'm always, for some reason, I don't know why I haven't thought of it, but, I've had all kinds of design as far as skulls and westernized tattoo. So I just thought that it'd just be cool to do something that makes you who you are.
My first tattoo is actually Hmong inspired. It's on my back, and this a tattoo of Lusao. I wanted to make sure that my first tattoo was Hmong inspired because being Hmong was a very big. It was a journey for me to embrace my Hmong identity. And so before I got me a tattoo, I was like, okay, I want to get something that's Hmong inspired first. And plus, my parents would whoop my butt if they found out I have a tattoo. And I was like, oh, if I get a Hmong tattoo, they wouldn't be that angry. And they weren't when they found out. But I got the Lusao instead of like a textile art design or like the Hmong hat because I wanted something that's more, I guess, universal across all like Hmong dialect and Hmong culture. And I felt like got just a specific Hmong, like the Hmong white hat, then that would only be just for like Hmong white dialect, and I want something that's more universal. So I was like, oh, there's Lusao and all of those, so that's why I got it. I have the quote from Deuce Khan from the song Hmong Hmong, the I guess more modern version, where it's I have that along with the Lusao.
When Kao started doing tattoos, I knew right away that she was going to be my next tattoo artist, and that my next tattoo was going to be designed by her. So she has this process of posting designs on Facebook and letting people just kind of, it's a first come first serve basis, and so people just select her designs. So when she posted this tattoo design, I knew right away that it was going to be my next tattoo.
The first Hmong tattoo design is this right here. It's a quote that I wrote because of how I feel about Hmong people. So it reads, we walk many lands, we speak many languages, never will we forget we are Hmong.
These spirals are bandao, which translates to the snail shell, flower cloth snail shell. And so she said that bandao means protection, right? And these are different versions of bandao, the snail shell bandao. These hearts or bandao is a newer style of bandao, the hearts. And so this was the other design. So for me, it is about the symbols because I did ask what they meant, but it really represents my experience living in a Hmong village for 2 months for the first time in my life. And my connection to my relatives that lived there, which are my cousins and my aunt.
It's about our journey from Asia to the United States or to the rest of the world. And then my second tat was more about family and just a self-identity thing. The background, it kind of has like a outline of the word Hmong and Hmong Paho. And it's not shaded or anything, it's just like a design on it. And then in the center, there's staircases and a circle that surrounds it, and it has like leaves around it too. The leaves represents like the jungles or the jungles that we lived in, and the staircases represents the different pathways that we as the Hmong people have gone, like as in we've gone our separate ways, and then the boundary is pretty much our limit to what we do as of right now, and like what we have done, and everything is all like based inside that circle. And then my arms are like it's kind of what I lift things with. So if I was to lift anything or lift the spirit of my people, they'd be with my arms. So I chose my arms.
Growing up, you go through a lot of trials and tribulations. And for me as a person, as an individual, I'm not a perfect person. I have my flaws, and I got it on my sleeve because it kind of symbolizes that saying, I want to wear my heart on my sleeve. Because as a Hmong individual, especially a male, growing up, you are taught to kind of keep your head down. Don't ask too many questions, and you're supposed to be a man, and you're supposed to be masculine, and you don't show emotions. But as you grow older, you understand the world and the society that you live in. You kind of say, hey, there are times where I do need to vent and I do need to tell people how I'm feeling, and that was kind of like my flaws, I could say, was that I kept too much in and I didn't tell anybody about the things that I'm going through or whether I'm stressed out or I'm worried. You just trying to bottle it all in and hoping that you can deal with it. And so this tattoo right here, like I said, it symbolizes my heart on my sleeve. And it's a constant reminder whenever I'm going through those phases that, I need to express myself to whoever is going to listen. And I shouldn't keep it all in.
The location of my tattoo is on the lower right side of the back of my hip. I didn't want my mom to find out that I had a tattoo. It's hidden. So, if I wore pants, it's hidden, no one can see it. I decided to get the elephant's foot because it reminds me of Bandao. As a kid, as a young girl, my mom made all the girls sat by the window to sew Bandao, and we hated it, but as I grew older, I kind of appreciated that experience and that memory, and so that was the main reason why I decided to go with the elephant's foot.
Yeah, I remember growing up as a child, I hated wearing like the silver necklace because it was heavy, and when you walk around all day, it drags your neck down. I was like, oh, but then I thought about it, I was like, it's heavy, but it represents pride. It's made of silver, and you wear it out of pride to show that your family has richness, not so much monetary richness, but pride in one's family. And I chose my back because as Hmong, when we're growing up in Laos and Thailand, a lot of Hmong people, they use their back a lot for a lot of the chores. They carry their children on their back. And so in essence, we carry the history of our people on our back. So that's where I placed it. And I also had the quote on there by Deuce Khan from Hmong, I have the quote from Deuce Khan from the song Hmong, I guess more modern version, where it's I have that along with the Lu Sao.
Just a lot of day-to-day lifestyle of how it was for Hmong people back in Laos. You have farming, you have villages and stuff, you have some aspects of the secret war, and also the migration through Laos to Thailand, because I really wanted something that reflected where I came from and what my people or what Hmong people have been through. So as just a reminder to always keep myself grounded within my culture.
The way that I decided on this tattoo was, one, because I wanted Kali Tao artwork on my body. Two, because of the empowerment of Hmong women with the symbolism. And then the location kind of came last. It's an arrow, and at the top of it has it's a po, which is a turban that Hmong women wear when they're in their cultural dress, which for me was a symbolism of femininity, feminism, empowerment, women's empowerment, all the things that I really value and I think I really resonate with.
There has to be substance behind a tattoo before I get it. Otherwise, I can't, because I'm too impulsive like that. And so the head of the bird is a higher being. The left wing is my mom. The right wing is my dad. And then there are 7 tail feathers for each of my siblings and I. And then the coils are in the center, which is the core, This is my most recent one. And I got it done at Incarnate Tattoos from Chris. So basically, there are 5 trees in here, and they are evergreens. That means forever. And it's for my family, my husband and my 3 kids and myself.
So I was in the military, and I served proudly, U.S. Army. And so I'm very patriotic, and then also the Hmong, the Bandao symbol, that's my ethnicity. So this is basically my nationality and my ethnicity. That's basically what represents me. That's who I am, So this tattoo, along with this tattoo here, I want people to see who I am. I'm not going to hide it. I'm a very blunt person, So it's people will see this, they'll think it's cool, and they'll ask me why did you get a flag? You're Hmong. Well, no, I'm Hmong American. You know, I was born here. This is my country. Yeah, we don't have an actual country, you know, so it's like I'm gonna, you know, adopt this country as my own.
Yeah, so the type of reaction that I received is, it's been kind of polarizing, because there are a lot of Hmong people who are very proud of it when they first saw it, like, oh yeah, like that's dope, you know, that's so cool. A lot of them are very surprised that it wasn't a like textile inspired one, because they're, oh, like yeah, we've seen a lot of those, we haven't seen an actual like lusao. And so they were actually very surprised by the uniqueness of it. And plus, my parents would whoop my butt if they found out I have a tattoo. And I was like, oh, if I get a Hmong tattoo, they wouldn't be that angry. And they weren't when they found out.
My first tattoo below the t-shirt line, my mom was all like, why do you have a tattoo? You know, you're never gonna be able to get a job. You know, it's gonna look bad when you grow older. You know, the typical, you know, mom stuff. But my dad, who was actually like really cool with it, you know, he's always been, you know, it's your life, you know, live it the way you want to. What he said, he's like, oh, so you're the boy with the dragon tattoo now? I would always struggle to, you know, wear a long sleeve shirt around them. You know, it'd be in the middle of July and I'm wearing long sleeves and, you know, long pants and just sweating. One day they came over and I was in a t-shirt and it was completely unexpected, and they saw me and they're like, oh, you have tattoos? Well, you know, tattoos are okay, but, you know, you probably shouldn't have them below, you know, the elbows, you know, just so that you can look professional. And I said, you know, I can just put on a button-down shirt and, you know, and I can clean up. So just as long as I don't do my hands and face, so, which I don't think I ever will.
Because again, like I said, you know, I'm the oldest. I'm supposed to be that role model where, you know, you go get your doctor's degree or something, you know, you go do something that you love, be prosperous and raise a family. You know, the typical Asian ideal thing. And so when I got my tattoos, oh my God, that opened the door, the gateway for all my younger cousins to get tattoos. Because, hey, Sherman got one, I can get one too. And when I get one, I'm gonna blame him. Their parents contacted my parents, we had this whole ordeal, and you know, they all came over and said, you know, you gotta get that tattoo removed. I was like, oh, I am not getting this tattoo removed.
So I just couldn't blame my sister. And at that time, my older brother had one too, so I was like, they also had it. It was the time where jeans were like, you wear little cut jeans, and so I bent over, my mom saw it, and my mom was angry, but she didn't do anything. I mean, it was already done.
I've only had it for 6 months, so it hasn't had a ton of exposure, and it's also been winter, so I've been mostly like covered up. But most recently I was in California and my cousin saw it, and she was really, I think, pleasantly surprised. You know, she saw it when, you know, we went shopping and I was trying on a dress and she was helping me, and so you know, I think that she was really attracted to the Hmong woman symbolism behind it. I think also because of Kali's unique style, it was very appealing for her. What I appreciated about it was that she felt like it was a very appropriate tattoo for me. Knowing who I am, knowing what my values are, and feeling like having a tattoo that really symbolized Hmong women was very aligned with how she experiences me. So that's good, and I'm hoping that that's what people will think when they see it, right? That it's a tattoo that really aligns with who I am and what my values are. I think that when they see the Hmong symbols, they're starting to understand better that this is not necessarily an act of rebellion, but really an act of pride. And I think that creates a little more calm for how they used to react to tattoos.